Hey guys, welcome back to another sports stuff video, and today we're talking about breakout players I'm predicting for the 2022 NFL season. If you guys do enjoy this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified when I post next, and let's get into this video. So, I have 4 players that I truly believe can break out this year and become, like, not just starters, but genuine stars on their team. I got 4 players. 3 are on offense, 1 is on defense. So it starts with, I think, is the most obvious pick that everyone is choosing, and that is being Jeudy. So Jeudy, throughout his career so far, has played with terrible quarterbacks, both Drew Lock, Teddy Bridgewater. And I'm not saying that Teddy, two gloves was bad, but I think he definitely has been underwhelming. Jeudy last year had 38 receptions for 467 yards and no touchdowns. That's not good. That was both play calling and quarterback play. It wasn't great. But Jeudy, hopefully, fingers crossed. Hopefully that Jeudy starts to show what we truly believe that he can be. A lot of games last season, he was targeted like 4 or 5 times a game. That's not enough. You got to feed Jeudy, especially with Russ in this offense. I think they're gonna have to start feeding Jeudy because he was a first round pick back in 2019. Like, he's got to show that he's worth that first round pick, and he hasn't really shown it yet because he hasn't had the opportunity. He can't stay healthy, and in his rookie year, he did struggle with drops a little bit. But the drops aren't really a big problem anymore. He was for the most part healthy last year. It's just that his quarterback isn't throwing the deep ball to him, and he's open deep. And I hope that Jeudy this year can show that he's worth that first round pick they spent and worth a second contract. Because guess what? If Jeudy leaves the Denver Broncos, wherever he goes, if they have a competent quarterback, he's to become their wide receiver 1. So I hope Denver can utilize him while he's there. Otherwise, the team's gonna benefit next year from them letting Jeudy slip. But I do believe in Nathaniel Hackett. I do believe in Russell Wilson. And I believe in this offense that they're going to scheme open for Jeudy and Courtland Sutton and make Russ, look way better than he did in Seattle this past season. But yeah, Jeudy's my number 1 breakout player of the year. Number 2 is also on offense. It is going to be Rashaad Penny of the Seattle Seahawks. So Rashaad Penny is also a first-round pick that really hasn't panned out quite yet. Now, last year, the tail end of the season, Rashaad Penny really did start going off. But last year, he had 120 rushes for 750 yards, which is a 6.3 average, which is one of the highest in the league, with 6 touchdowns. So far, it's definitely been his best year of his career. Over half his yards and almost all of his touchdowns came from last year. And that was still in a backup role behind Chris Carson. Now, Chris Carson got hurt. He's officially retired, which does suck. Chris Carson, I wish he would have been, healthy. But luckily, he got paid right before he got hurt. And sadly, he did have to retire with a medical injury. But Rashaad Penny is stepping into that starting role this year, at least for the first couple of weeks. I do believe that Rashaad Penny is going to maintain a very clear, significant role in this offense as the lightning to Kenneth Walker's thunder. Now, Kenneth Walker is a good receiving back, but I think Rashaad Penny's special. I genuinely do like Rashaad Penny. He's 5'11", 220. He's only 26 years old, so he's still, pretty young. But he was a first-round pick, and I believe he's on his 5th-year deal. This is 5th-year option, if I'm not mistaken. But, with a running back room of him, DJ Dallas, Travis Homer, Josh Johnson, and Kenneth Walker, I think it'll be pretty easy for Rashaad Penny to carve himself out a role. And for at least the first couple weeks of the season, he's going to be starting for them. So if he can maintain a consistent and very good production on the field, I think Rashaad Penny's going to get a lot of snaps this year. But I think if they don't give him a long-term deal, they have Kenneth Walker. They probably got to keep Kenneth Walker's legs healthy this year and, run Rashaad Penny into the ground. And then, next year just go to Kenneth Walker full-time. But Rashaad Penny, he's my breakout candidate of the year. I think he's going to probably have about 900 yards, maybe about 8 touchdowns. Probably an average above 5 yards a carry. Because he averaged 6.3, which was the highest in the league. I misspoke earlier, saying it was one of the highest. It was the highest, average per carry in the NFL. Because his last couple of weeks was amazing. His last 5 weeks of the season, he was 190, 170, 135, 140. Like, besides the Rams, who really contained him, like, he had an amazing back half of the season. And I think he's going to keep the momentum going into this coming season. And, he's going to carve himself out a role. It's going to be really good. Next up is a pretty obvious one as well on offense. It is Jalen Hurts. Now, Jalen Hurts, he kind of broke out last year. I'll say he kind of broke out last year. But I think this could be a completely different kind of, breaking out. Because, last year, he had 3,100 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. That's not including his rushing stats, though. So let me get his rushing stats. There it is. So in 2021, yeah, he threw for 3,000 yards, 16 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and he ran for 800 yards and 10 touchdowns. He was absolutely one of the best dual threats quarterbacks of the year last year. And I think Jalen Hurts, in this better offense that they're about to have this year, he's going to take the next step and have a truly breakout season. I would not be shocked if he throws for 4,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, maybe about 9 interceptions still. But if he doubles his touchdowns, adds another 1,000 yards with A.J. Brown, and if he keeps that rushing stats of about 800 and maybe less touchdowns, but he can genuinely average about 5,000 yards in total with rushing and throwing the ball. This is going to be an offense that is amazing. Like I genuinely believe that this offense can be one of the top 5 in the league. And this defense, now that they added C.J. Gardner-Johnson, just for a 5th-round pick, they added C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I think that is a stellar pickup for their defense. This Eagles team is built to win a Super Bowl. All he needs is that Jalen Hurts needs to step up and play at the level of a quarterback who can win a Super Bowl on the back of an amazing offense and a stellar defense. But Jalen Hurts, I'm predicting probably about 4,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, less than 10 interceptions, with about 800 yards rushing, and probably about 10 touchdowns. I think he can maintain his rushing stats because this was the #1 rushing team in the league. But I think that Jalen Hurts is going to maintain his current trajectory, and he's going to surpass any expectations anyone has for him and have a truly breakout season. My final pick for breakout player of the year is going to be defensive back Rashaad Fenton from the Kansas City Chiefs. So Rashaad Fenton has been one of my favorite pickups probably in the day 3 of the last 5 years. Zion McCollum, like those are my 2 favorite defensive back pickups probably in the last 5 years when it comes to day 3. Rashaad Fenton, he plays mostly slot, but he can play outside. But I mean, the Chiefs, they drafted Trent McDuffie, and they have L'Jarius Sneed. So him, McDuffie, and L'Jarius Sneed, I think are going to be a really good, starting cornerbacks. Javarius Ward really did take up a lot of the primary boundary snaps away from Rashaad Fenton and away from L'Jarius Sneed. I mean, L'Jarius Sneed definitely played outside a lot, and Rashaad Fenton was asked to play the inside role. But I think Trent McDuffie, he can play both outside and nickel, and I think that Rashaad Fenton is more of a nickel player, but I think Rashaad Fenton is more of a nickel player anyway. But this defense is going to be really good this year. I think Rashaad Fenton is going to be a primary player for the secondary with Justin Reed added on. They still have Juan Thornhill, Brian Cook, the rookie, who I thought was really decent in college. But last year, he had 40 tackles, 7 pass deflections, and a forced fumble. Really good. And then in the postseason, he had not really that many stats, actually. I'm looking at it right now. So not that many snaps. But I do believe that Rashaad Fenton this year can have a breakout season. He was a 2019 6th-round pick, which means this is his last year of his deal because anyone who's not a first-round pick has a 4-year deal guaranteed, a guaranteed 4-year deal. And Rashaad Fenton is about to be this is his final year of his contract. I think Rashaad Fenton truly is going to break out this year and become one of the best slot corners in the NFL. He has everything you would want. He's nearly 6 foot. He's nearly 200 pounds. He's only 25 years old. Easily can lock him up on a 4-year deal. He hasn't been absolutely stellar to the point where he's gonna be too expensive to re-sign. But he's just good enough so we want to re-sign him. I think Rashaad Fenton is gonna prove this year he's worth that extension and that he's worth keeping around on this team long term. So again, my breakout players. Number 1, Jerry Jeudy. I think with his improved offense and improved coaching, he's going to get schemed open a lot more and get thrown to a lot more. Rashaad Penny. I think Rashaad Penny, at least for the first half of the season, is going to be their starting running back. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for him to continue his amazing streak he was on last season. Jalen Hurts is on an all-time Super Bowl team right now. If they had any other quarterback, they'd be a Super Bowl favorite, but people aren't betting on them. Because of Jalen Hurts. He's proved them all wrong, have a breakout season, have 4,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, less than 10 interceptions, and still about 1,000 yards rushing. And finally, Rashaad Fenton, the only defensive player that I truly believe is going to have a breakout season. playing in that Kansas City defense. They're going to be in a lot of primetime games. They're going to be a really good defense, and he's going to be one of the reasons why they have a really good defense. If you guys did enjoy this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified when you post next, and comment down below, who do you think they have a breakout season? Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later. Peace and bye.